The next thing is I need to know that you know how to identify an independent variable and a dependent variable. So what you're going to get is like an experiment, like a paragraph that explains something that the scientist is doing. And you're going to have to tell me, hey, this is the independent variable in that experiment, and that's the dependent variable. Now, the trick is to visualize this experiment in your mind, like what's the scientist doing, and think, what's the cause? What's the effect? What is the what's being changed or manipulated by the scientist? And then what's being measured? What is the scientist, what is the responding variable that the scientist is looking for? Okay. You test a new shampoo that supposedly makes your hair soft. You want to know how much of the shampoo will generate an effect. So what's the IV and what's the DV? Giving you a second to think about it. So what's the effect here? That might be an important thing to maybe start with. We can start with what's the cause, or we can start with what's the effect. It doesn't really matter. So when I'm looking at this, I'm analyzing this sentence. It supposedly makes your hair soft, and you want to see how much of the shampoo will generate an effect. So what's the effect of the shampoo? What's the desired effect? Oh, you want it softer. Look at my hair right now, you guys. It's super long because none of the barbershops are open. That's why I'm wearing a hat, because I'm embarrassed about it. Anyways, you want really soft hair. That's the effect. So the dependent variable, remember that the dependent variable is the effect. And in this case, it's how soft your hair is. So the softness of hair. And the independent variable, that's the cause. So what causes the hair to be softer? Whoop. You want to know how much of the shampoo will generate the effect. So the key thing there is how much. So the amount of shampoo, that's your independent variable. Boom. And you have identified the independent variable and the dependent variable. So what would be your constants? Maybe how much conditioner you're putting in your hair. That's going to affect it. How much sun your hair is getting each day. That might affect the softness of hair. So anything that might affect your dependent variable, that's something that you want to worry about for your scientific experiment. You want to really make sure that you're keeping all your constants constant. You're controlling all your constants. And let's do one more example. So an education scientist, they want to see if students that live farther away from campus have lower test scores. So what does that mean? What are they going to do? So let's say that we got the campus here. This is the school. And they go to all these different locations. They go to this kid's house. He lives kind of close. They see how far he is. Then they go to, I don't know, there's a kid that lives up there in the hills, and they figure out, okay, how far does he live to school? And then there's someone that lives over here, and then they're seeing the distance there. So they've measured a bunch of things, and they also figured out their test score. So maybe this guy got, I don't know, a 85% on his test, or maybe he averages 85% on this test. And whoa, I got a little thing there. This guy who lives further away from campus, he did a little worse. And then this person who lives way out in the boondocks, they get 65% on their high school SATs or something like that. And so this is what the scientist is doing. They have their distance, and they have their test score. So what do I want to do? In this example, I'm trying to identify the independent variable and the dependent variable. You're going to see these questions on the upcoming quiz. So you want to identify the independent variable and the dependent variable. So let's just look at our variables again. So our variables, we've got, your test score, and you got your distance from school. So we got two variables there. Which one is the cause and which one is the effect? Well, it's right here in this sentence. They want to see if the students that live farther away have lower test scores. So your distance from school, this is the cause. Does it cause you to have a lower test score? And if you've identified the cause and the effect, then you're already there. You know which one is the IV, boom, and which one is the DV, the independent variable and the dependent variable. Okay, so this learning objective, we're figuring out how to ask a scientific question, but doing it in a way where we're specific. We're starting to set up an experiment, and if we're doing that, then we have definitely identified an independent variable and a dependent variable, and we know what constants are. All right, you guys, good luck on the quiz.